Hey, welcome back to another day, another vlog. Well, good to have you all back, wherever you're coming from. Great to see you and be in your living room, desk, office, running treadmill with you, on your bike, wherever you're listening or watching. Great to be back. Obviously, shift change, and then back today. Yesterday, I sort of thought about it, but I was pretty smashed after a walk. Hadn't been on a hike for a bit since I think Frenchman's Peak in sort of February. So it'd been a bit since I'd done sort of any sort of exercise. So it was an early morning. Yeah, went out to Bob Falls. Probably not the most exciting, but it was a good. What I decided to do was a good test of the new 24mm EF lens that I've got. Specifically got it for astro stuff and low light stuff. And it worked out pretty well. I sort of just about swapped it at one point, and a couple of things I wanted to zoom, and I thought, no, stuff it. I'll leave it on and move and adjust myself, and then try and sort of do it like you should do with a fixed lens. Sometimes it's good to go that fixed focal lens and take you out of your comfort zone of a zoom, and then sort of make yourself rethink about your compositions and stuff. So, look, lens did really well. I've only had a quick look at some of the photos, and they look all right. There wasn't anything too much. I was going to basically to check out how much water was in Bob Falls, and also, sorry, a bit loud here. And also, sorry about that. Just to see how much water was in Bob Falls. If you haven't watched the channel, Bob Falls, go check that out. Named after me dad. Dad's obviously passed away, so it was actually a really good spot. I spent about 10 minutes just sitting there, and I guess it's the first time since the funeral I've had a sort of my own sort of space and just sat there and just had a good bit of reflection. I guess is a good thing and it's one of those times you had a bit of a cry and a bit of reflection and all that sort of stuff that you need to do, and to I guess move on, not move on or anything, but to just I guess vent a bit, I guess. And it was actually really good. So I sat there. Now every time I see that, I sort of think of him. I'm sort of glad I sort of did that when I did. He got to see the video and the pictures when I found it the first time, and he really enjoyed it. So that was really cool. So it was good for me. There was a bit of water. There's about 5 or 6 foot of water in the actual bottom of the falls, which is the first time I've been there, and there has been water. So obviously last swing it did rain, and I've just sort of missed the big rain deluge. We need a lot of rain here to make all these waterfalls that I've found work. And unfortunately, I had this season or this year in wet season, which is now, there's only been probably last swing that it actually was raining enough to get that going, and I wasn't here, of course. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty good. Finished the photos yesterday afternoon. I did a bit of work. I moved on to the next video, obviously. Day one of the trip down south with the family. It's going to be Canal Rocks, and I can't remember the Irukajul Natural Spa, or I think it's I can't remember the name. It's a little tricky. The Natural Spa just down the road from the Canal Rocks in Marga River, and it's a beautiful area, and it's a couple of gorgeous spots. So pretty much photos are finished on that. I just got to get into the video and have that. So that should be put us back on track for this week for that video, and then I've got another 15 videos behind that to get done. So there's looking pretty good. Some nice photos out of that first lot. And I think it's going to get better and better because I sort of got, you sort of go on a bit of a holiday the first couple of shoots. You sort of, and then you get into a groove, you get your pattern going. And I think I definitely did that after 16 days of shooting. I sort of knew what I had to do and planned a lot better and got photos, and I was in a bit of a photography groove. So, so far so good. Some nice photos out of the first day, and it should make a nice little video. So I've got to keep doing some work on that today and try and get some the video stuff done. Now, so good day yesterday, but I was pretty smashed, and I just come back and just crashed out. I was out cold, so you get that. Looking forward to a nice sleep tonight. Now, Nikon, obviously, if you hadn't already heard, just dropped the announcement, or what do they call it, preemptive. They announced that they're going to release a Z9, a flagship style camera. It's going to be looking like it's going to be a one-piece body. They've put out a picture. One-piece body with controls in it. So basically like a Pro, like a 1DX. It's not a separate add-on handle. It looks like it's going to be a one-piece. That may change until we come out. We don't know, but that's what it's looking like at the moment. Not much specs on it, not much price. It's very much all sort of rumours. It's very early stages, I guess, of their release. So I'm sure we'll get more next week. I guess they're just trying to beat the drum a little bit and get some interest in their company, which is always good, and that's not too bad. Not a lot to talk about though. It does look, they needed something like this. The talk is that they may, if they can, they're either going to go and buy the Sony A1 sensor and whack that in, or they've somehow developed their own sensor, because it's going to be a stacked CMOS sensor, brand new processor, 8K video. Because it's 8K, I think watched Jared Poland, and he said that being 8K, you can roughly estimate that the sensor's going to have to be at least 40 to 50 megapixels for it to be able to get enough pixels and stuff to make 8K. So that's sort of a good guesstimate, I guess, somewhere around that range. So that's going to put in the similar sort of area as an R5. So it sounds pretty good so far. Integrated body with controls we talked about. They're saying available fall 21. He doesn't think that's going to happen. I'm not sure that if they're only just announcing now and they haven't announced any specs or anything like that. We're in March, so it'd have to be at least 6 months until they actually possibly got fully announced as for sale. Then you got orders, and that's what he's saying. If you're only giving us stuff all now and no prices, no information, although B&H Photos already got it up on their site as like the announcement, and basically you can put your request in to buy one. I think I'm with Fronos here that I think they're probably going to look at, it's not realistically going to come out till 2022. So 6 months to finish it off, get the announcement up. They may have some test ones for the Olympics if the Olympics goes ahead. May have some test ones for that, but basically do a release maybe second half of the year, late second half of the year, as this is everything finished. This is what we're going to give you. Pre-orders go up. Stock, you got to get stock. It's got to come out, so it's going to be Christmas. Then Christmas turns into January, February. That's 2022. So realistically, probably not till next year. Good they've announced it. Good they're going to come out with something. It's going to have to be pretty special. There's we all know about the rumours for the R1 and that ridiculous, just crazy town stuff. That the possibilities there are pretty insane. We all know what Sony's done with the A7S III and this A1. They're both ridiculously awesome cameras. So it's now Nikon's definitely going to have to get something up their sleeves or get something out. Not much specs in there, but I think what they really need, and again, refer to Frono's Photos, Jared Poland, he said he probably exactly the right thing is, doesn't matter what they do with the specs and anything, if they don't fix autofocus, then it's going to be a waste of time. And I think he's 100% right. Panasonic's got to do the same thing with their cameras as well. Olympus has got ridiculous stabilization and weatherproof, but their focus is no good. When you get the Canon R5, R6, the A7S III and the A1 Sonys, they can pick up an eye on a bird or a tiny little animal and fully track it everywhere without losing it. There's no way someone's going to buy something where you have to manually focus something anymore. It's just, for that money, this is what you require. The focus has to be perfect. It has to be eye lock, full movement. And so I think that's what Nikon definitely Nikon has to make sure they get right. If you don't get that focus right, the cameras will not sell. We've seen it with the Panasonic releases and all the other cameras that release and don't have a good focus. And everyone wants it. The bird people, the animal shooters want it. The people that are doing portrait photography, wedding photography, focus is so important, because especially as a professional, sports as well, those sports professionals, you get people running and going full speed. The last thing you want to do, take a great set of photos with catching it in the NFL, catch it for a major touchdown or something, and you're not in focus, or anyway, you know what I mean. I'm probably half sleepy. But so focus 100%. That's what they need to do. Who cares about 8K and all that stuff? Everyone's got that now. That's old hat. But focus, if Nikon get that right, they should have a winner. They'll definitely keep all their Nikon people happy, so that's the important part. Now over in Canon rumours, they announced a CR2 rumour, so that's like pretty good. He's saying he'd heard some rumours a while ago, but he had a big rumour drop to him this week. An EOS R cinema camera. He's dubbing it the R5C. So internal ND, C-Log 2 and 3. That's all he's got so far on it, but basically the same as an R-type body, so same as an RP, or maybe a little bit bigger than that, but a cinema spec full video format camera. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that goes. Now that's going to be 2022, so early days yet, but that's sort of definitely looks like one that's not a maybe, more so of a when. Maybe later, maybe earlier, but this is sort of a when, and it's going to be definitely coming. So that's pretty cool. They've got the C70 and 90 that come out. They weren't that big, but they keep getting these cinema cameras getting smaller and smaller. The Black Magics and all that, they're all just, everything's getting into a tiny body. Technology's crazy. What you can do with some of these video cameras is very, very cool. Now, I guess the biggest tech news was the Instago Go 2. So a little tiny device, magnet, have a necklace on, it clips on the outside, sort of action cammy GoPro. The first one's sort of okay. I guess the biggest problem I have, I say negatives up first, is the fact that it's obviously you've got no screen, so you can't really see what you're shooting. You can connect it to your phone to see it, but you're not going to take your phone in your water to watch anything or do anything. And that's sort of, I guess, where your DJIs and your GoPros work, because you can sort of see what's on the screen. Even when I've had my old GoPro on the boat hooked up, you can see what's in the back and see when you're setting it up to get your shot. You can sort of see, you don't have to pull out a phone to sort of, and then Bluetooth that to that. And Bluetooth's a pain in the ass at the best of times. So that's a little bit, that's about the only sort of thing to it. Look, I think it's a very niche sort of a niche thing. It'll work well. That Potato Jet had on a drone, and I think it worked really well for the drone. It doesn't have the full 360, but it has a great view, a pretty good picture, 1440p. So that's not too bad. That'll do 50 frames a second. So that'll be pretty good for the for your drones, stuff like that. It's 4 meters waterproof. It's Wi-Fi preview, so it's Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth. So that's probably better than Bluetooth. It's got hyperlapse, slow-mo 120, an auto edit setting. Battery's doubled up to 150 minutes from 60 minutes. That's pretty good. It does a night lapse, got HDR video, an Aqua Vision color adjust, which is actually something that was pretty good. That a couple of reviews, I didn't really see much on it, but basically they fix up the color saturation in the water, and something they do on the technology there, but actually makes the water look probably a bit more realistic, or a bit nicer, at least a bit cleaner. So that was actually pretty good. And there's you can already buy little stickers basically to put over to protect it from scratches and bumps and stuff like you do, like the Alpha Guard stuff for the cameras, and for your D brand stuff you can do for your computers and phones and stuff. So that's really good, and I think they'll sell a lot of them, and it's probably an entry point level for an action cam for a kid or something that wants to do. The only drama I have heard of, there's no sort of lanyard or something on that outside one, so being magnets, whatever you rough and tumble or doing stuff, it can come off. So just be aware of that. I have heard a few of where they've lost them. So now it's not the most cheapest thing. Starting price is $479 to about $500, and that's Australian. That's a lot of moolah. You can definitely buy a secondhand GoPro 7 with batteries and everything, a full kit for under that. So yeah, it's sort of, as I said, I think it's a bit of a niche thing. It'll suit some people, and it'll sort of be a thing because it's handy. You can hang it around your neck. That's pretty cool. But realistically, I don't think you're going to get I guess, the quality you're going to get of your DJIs and your GoPro sort of setups, those bigger units. And then they're not that much bigger that it's a pain in the butt to use them. They are still ridiculously small. So it's not like you're walking around with an RP or something, or an M50, which is really not that big either. So, but look, it nonetheless looks pretty good. They've done a heap to it over the last model, and it's now a lot better. So look, good on them. They do great stuff into 60. all their stuff generally is, unfortunately, a little exy, and that's the only downside to their products. I guess like Lau does some great stuff, but it's just that in that range where it's just a little touchy out of reach from the beginner to like myself or entry level. So it's a little bit tricky in that price point. But other than that, go check it out. It looks pretty cool. Nice little bit of kit, something different. Now, big news for Apple fans. I'm an Apple fan. I'm not afraid to admit it. Probably get some hate for that, but you know, I enjoy it. It suits me. I'm happy. I just go for it. Now, Apple, we've talked about a few products, iMacs and bits and pieces. Well, it looks like March Apple 23rd. March 23rd will be the next event. That's the rumours coming through from John Prosser. Few things he's talking about may possibly come in this one. Air tags. So like the tiles, I used to have a tile. I did it once and never used it. So, and then the battery only lasted a year. So then you just don't replace them. Yeah. I don't really see the point. Yeah, it's great to have them. I think it's a bit more gimmicky. If you lose stuff all the time, fantastic. But then every year you've got to replace them. So sooner or later, that cost is going to outweigh the thing that you're losing, I guess. If it's something expensive, you've got to be able to put it on so no one can rip it off and ditch it for you to get your stuff back, if that makes sense. Keys, I understand, but unless you've got a set of keys worth $5,000, maybe a Lamborghini keys or something like that, or a Bugatti keys, they're $5,000 to replace apparently. Something like that I can understand, but yeah, tile never really took off. I can't see the difference between Apple and that. Yeah, they're going to market, people are going to buy it because it's Apple, but how much stuff do you actually just physically, mentally lose shit that you can't find again, that you need to put all these tags on stuff? Yeah, a little bit weird. So anyway, we'll find out what happens, I guess, when that one comes out. AirPods, we talked about AirPods 3. They'll probably be coming out. Apple TV, update to that. Gaming seems to be fairly heavily touted in that regards. They're going to really push the gaming. Will they have an M1 chip in it? That'll be good for gaming. If they're going to run gaming, they need something powerful to run it. Chuck an M1 chip in the Apple TV unit. Holy bundy, you're going to get some gruesome power in there for a unit that will sell a heap of the Apple TVs. They don't think the iMac's coming for this one. They reckon it's too soon, maybe later in the year. There's talk about iPad Pro definitely coming, possible iPad as well, new one of that. But look, we'll find out March 23rd. That's 12 days away, less than 2 weeks, and we'll have basically all new, some new stuff, funky stuff to talk about. So lots of fun, lots of excitement there, and it's always good to have something to look forward to, I guess. There'll be Apple rumours for the next week and a half with all the latest updates. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. I'll keep you updated on the actual stuff that sounds reasonable, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow. Rightio, I got to get some more work done. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be going this way, that way. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.